I recently bought this Vevor 7x14 mini lathe from Amazon. You can buy the same lathe directly from Vevor for the same price or maybe cheaper. The advantage of buying it from Amazon was that I could just take it to Whole Foods and return it if it didn't work out. After all the naysayers and bad things I've heard about Chinese mini lathes online, I was worried that I would buy a pile of scrap metal. Fortunately for me, that was not the case. I've been very happy with this one. Of course, there were a couple of problems. The cross-slide handle was missing. They quickly shipped me another one. The cross-side handle and the compound handle both have threads that are a very loose fit, and they're crooked. I overcame this with some Loctite red on both of them. The little magnetic base battery or USB powered light that came with it was useless, but I didn't care. I didn't want that anyway. What would have been nice to have would be a user manual. It only came with a short set of setup instructions. All in all, I'm happy with it, and I think it was a good value. Now, I'm not a machinist, nor do I play one on TV. I don't even play one on YouTube. So some of you out there may observe that I don't know enough to be unhappy with it. You may be right. One thing I really liked about it was that it came with a complete set of metal gears. So I didn't have to worry about going out and replacing the plastic gears with metal ones. That's not really been a problem because I haven't gotten into thread cutting yet. So when it does, I'm sure I will find out about it. And I don't believe I can cut anything but metric threads because I don't have I think it's a 39 tooth gear that I need to change it to a SAE thread cutting lathe. The tooling that came with it, I was pretty happy with. It came in this nice little wooden box, and I've sort of figured out what most of the pieces are. I think this one is an internal thread cutting piece, and I guess this one is kind of a boring bar. This is an external thread cutter, and this one is kind of odd because I think it's supposed to be a parting tool, but it's very wide, so and I haven't been able to get that to part anything. Most of the tools I have already mounted in a quick change tool post mounting blocks. This one I think is a chamfer tool, and then I've got a normal tool for cutting like brass, and this one I believe cuts steel because it has a little bit of a back angle on it. And I also got a parting tool blade, 16th inch blade with the tool post. The tool post I bought from Little Machine Shop because they were nice enough to send me a long description on which one I should use with this lathe and how to determine the height of the post over the bedways and which one would fit. The only difference is the cutting tool on it. I've been very happy with the Little Machine Shop and the way they have provided advice and customer service. The first thing I bought was a Vevor K72-100. It's a 4-inch 4-jaw chuck. The only real problem that I've run into with it was when I got it, it came with some regular hex head bolts on the back that were too long to fit through from the faceplate into the chuck. So I had to go down to Ace Hardware and pick up some studs, lock washers, and nuts to actually mount it in the same manner that the 3-inch chuck is mounted. But the 4 studs, lock washers, and nuts cost about 20 bucks at Ace Hardware, which seems a bit steep, but at least they had it. I had a dial indicator base from Harbor Freight, and it seems to work okay. One problem I had is the lathe is too small to be able to mount this anywhere to make it useful. So I got a flexible neck indicator holder, and honestly I haven't used this yet, but I think it'll be okay. It seems to have a little bit of a erectile dysfunction problem, but we'll figure that out. Online from Blondie Hacks, she's provided a lot of really good instructional videos on how to use a lathe for that. Was this carriage stop, which just clamps onto the bed, and then I can mount a dial indicator in here to use against the carriage for making precise adjustments for the movement. Other thing I 3D printed was these tool post mounts for a dial indicator that will just drop right on there, and then you can use this to center the work on a 4-jaw chuck. I've made a few things with it so far. A machinist hammer, which came out pretty good. I was happy with it. The first thing I made was this shop pencil. It's a PSI kit that I wasn't able to turn in wood, and I also made a scribe to use in laying out things. I got a needle from Starrett and then just made a handle for it. But all in all, I'm very happy with this little lathe.